The story begins in age 766. 2.5 years have passed since the legendary Super Saiyan Son Goku saved the Earth from the galactic tyrant Frieza and his father, King Cold. And ever since then, there haven't been any threats plaguing the Earth. Everyone is enjoying the peace that has continued to envelop the planet. Surprisingly, even Vegeta has mellowed out somewhat as he had a child with Bulma, a half Saiyan by the name of Trunks, though he still trains hard in hopes of one day surpassing and defeating Kakarot. All seems to be very prosperous for our heroes. Little did everyone know that tragedy would soon befall on one of them. The scene changes over to Mount Paozu as the Son family are enjoying their usual daily routines. Goku is training hard in his Super Saiyan form, pushing himself to try to go beyond his current threshold of power, trying to see what the limits are of the legendary form he achieved on planet Namek during his battle against Frieza. Who knows? Maybe one day he could achieve a level beyond this power. Meanwhile, Chi-Chi is cooking for her family, happy that things have calmed down after everything that had happened over the past couple of years, from the Saiyans invading Earth for the Dragon Balls to gain immortality, to Frieza's hunt for the same thing on planet Namek, to said tyrant invading the Earth as well in a quest for revenge. All these ordeals, one after another, had been building up stress on the Ox Princess at one point in time due to her constant worry over Goku and Gohan, fearing in the worst possible scenario of never seeing those two ever again. Now, though, she doesn't have to worry anymore, as all those past troubles are now over with, and she can finally relax, knowing that her two boys are safe and sound. And lastly, Gohan is currently in his room, studying hard, continuously obtaining knowledge in order to one day achieve his dream of becoming a scholar. As the half Saiyan is writing his paper, he starts to feel a little strange, starting to feel more tired than normal with each passing second, and has small but noticeable dull pain in his chest. Gohan doesn't know the reason for this feeling, but quickly chalks it up to working too hard as he has been studying a bit excessively recently, and this could possibly be a sign to not go overboard. Chi-Chi then calls out to Gohan from the kitchen as it was time for dinner. Gohan shouts back that he's on his way and is about to go over to eat when suddenly that feeling in his chest aches again, but this time the pain becomes almost unbearable. Chi-Chi goes over to Gohan's room to check up on him as he still hasn't come out of his room. When she opens the door, she sees her son on the ground in agony, holding his chest in pain. Chi-Chi quickly goes over to Gohan and calls out to Goku in a panic, saying that something is wrong with Gohan. Goku urgently flies into the house and rushes to Gohan's aid. As Goku is trying to figure out the cause for Gohan's condition, he quickly senses that his son's ki is getting weaker with each passing second. Gohan is dying. Goku quickly tells Chi-Chi to call Bulma and that he'll go over to Korin's tower in order to get sensu beans. As he's about to teleport, Piccolo enters the Sun family's house. As he flew over to their location as soon as he could, the moment he sensed Gohan's depleting life force. The Namekian urgently asks what is wrong with Gohan, to which Goku responds that he doesn't know, and tells Piccolo to get in touch with all their friends to gather the Dragon Balls while he gets the sensu beans. Piccolo nods and flies away to see the rest of the Dragon team. Goku then teleports to Korin's tower using instant transmission, while Chi-Chi calls Bulma at Capsule Corp and informs her of Gohan's condition. It's a race against time. Goku, after successfully teleporting to Korin's location, quickly tells the cat that he needs a sensu bean, saying that something is very wrong with Gohan, and he needs a sensu bean in hopes that it might help his son. Korin instantly obliges and gives Goku a sensu bean, also hoping that the bean will cure the mysterious condition of the half Saiyan child. Goku quickly teleports to his home with the sensu bean in his possession and gives it to Gohan, telling his son that it will help him. Despite being in severe pain, Gohan manages to eat the senzu bean with both his father and mother waiting desperately for the magical bean to heal his son. However, much to their horror, the senzu doesn't work. Gohan is still writhing in agony of the virus that is plaguing him, and his life force is almost snuffed out. Growing even more desperate, Goku races out as fast as he can and joins the others to gather the Dragon Balls in one last attempt at saving Gohan. Eventually, the Dragon team manages to gather all seven of the balls and quickly summons Shenron, asking him to get rid of whatever that's inside Gohan. Shenron tries to do so. However, after a few moments later, he tells him that he can't. Goku demands to know why not, only to be crushed by the next bit of news from the Eternal Dragon. Gohan has already passed away. Now, this part of the what if was a bit tricky to write, as many people would believe that the Dragon team could easily gather the Dragon Balls and wish away the virus, as Shannon has shown he could cure illnesses like he did with Pan in Dragon Ball Super Episode 68. However, if that were true, why didn't they just do that for future Goku in the original story? In the History of Trunks special, the first few scenes were shown of Gohan racing to his home and the Z Fighters were just standing outside of said house. This could mean one of two things. One, they tried using the Dragon Balls, but for some reason Shannon at that point in time didn't have the ability to cure Goku. Or two, they didn't have enough time to gather them in the first place. This shows that even if they were successfully able to collect all the balls, it wouldn't have saved Gohan, either because Shenron wasn't capable of such a wish, or time would have run out before he would have a chance to. Everyone is crushed by the revelation of Gohan's passing. Bulma and Chi-Chi are crying their eyes out. Krillin falls to his hands and knees, unable to emotionally bear the weight of the loss of his friend. Tien, Chaozu, and Yamcha bow their heads in respect of the young half Saiyan child, who they had fought alongside during the Saiyan saga. Piccolo is visibly shaking, struggling to retain his composure, but can't stop a lone tear from falling down his cheek, eventually being overcome with grief at the loss of his student and very first friend. Vegeta even gives his own respect, knowing that Gohan did not deserve to die the way he did. Despite only being half, the Saiyan Prince acknowledged Gohan as a true Saiyan warrior when he fought against Frieza, and that death by a virus was no way to meet his end. Goku is numb. He can't properly process the news that had entered his ears, nor could he properly fathom it. Gohan is dead? No, no, that can't be. Goku is trembling, feeling overwhelmed by the sadness and loss of his son's life, and this feeling was getting worse with each passing second. Krillin is trying to remain optimistic, believing that the Dragon Balls could bring Gohan back, only for Piccolo to snuff out this hope, saying that Shenron can't revive people who have died of natural causes, and Gohan's passing was due to the virus under that category. This was the last straw for Goku, finally realizing now that there was no way to bring his son back. Unable to control himself any longer, Goku powers up, releasing all his rage, sorrow, and grief. He transforms into a Super Saiyan in the process, but he still continues to power up in his loss. The earth is trembling violently under the Saiyan's surging ki, volcanoes erupting, earthquakes appearing, and tsunamis flooding everywhere. The Z Fighters are trying desperately to calm down Goku, fearing that he might accidentally destroy the planet and everyone on it. But he doesn't seem to listen, too lost in his own grief. As Goku continues to power up, blue bioelectricity continues to envelop him and dance around his golden aura, and his hair starts to spike up even more. Finally, not willing to stand any longer, Chi-Chi takes a risk and runs over to her husband, ignoring everyone's plea not to do so. As she gets closer, Chi-Chi begs Goku not to give in to his anger and despair, as this was not who he was. Goku is somewhat affected by Chi-Chi's words, but it's still not enough to quell his rage. Chi-Chi continues to plead for Goku to calm down. For her. For Gohan. Hearing his son's name, Goku was finally able to snap out of his grief-induced state and powers down back to his base form, exhausted both physically and emotionally. Despite their relief in dodging a bullet this time, everyone is still disheartened over the loss of Gohan. What are they going to do now? Goku suddenly had an idea. While everyone, telling everyone that he will be back and teleports to King Yama's place, arriving just in time to see Gohan as it was his turn next to be judged. Upon seeing Goku, Gohan instantly flies over and hugs his father, relieved to see him. Goku returns Gohan's hug with his own, and then turns towards King Yama. King Yama at first is surprised to see the arrival of Goku, but then quickly learns that this kid is Goku's son. So he assumes that the Saiyan is here to see his child off to heaven. However, Goku has other plans for his son as he finally makes his request for Gohan to travel to Snake Way in order to meet King Kai. King Yama is surprised to say the least by this request and contemplates over what to do as he checks Gohan's record. While it's true that the kid did die of natural causes, he also played a major role in defending Earth against the Saiyans and fought against Frieza. With taking these factors into consideration, it would most likely be better to let the kid be trained under King Kai after all. So King Yama decides to give his stamp of approval and allows Gohan the opportunity to go see King Kai. Goku thanks him and takes his son to fly over to King Kai's planet. It takes practically no time at all for the father-son duo to arrive, and when they do, they are greeted by the World King himself. King Kai is brought up to speed on what happened to Gohan and promises to look after him so that Goku doesn't have to worry. Goku thanks King Kai and tells Gohan that everything will be okay and he'll come to visit often. Gohan is obviously sad by the prospect of this being his new lifestyle going forward, or after lifestyle in this case, but accepts it, needing to be strong for the sake of his father, mother, and everyone else on Earth. And so, Goku teleports to the Earth to tell Chi-Chi and the others what happened to Gohan. King Kai, in an attempt to cheer up Goku, asks if he is interested in learning what the World King had taught Goku, which catches Gohan's interest and takes up on his offer. While his dream of becoming a scholar is lost to him forever, or so he thinks anyway, that doesn't mean everything is over for him. With the help of King Kai and Goku, maybe, maybe Gohan can find a new path to follow. So, what did you guys think of my new what if? And what do you think is going to go for Gohan going forward? Leave a comment down below and any potential new what ifs that you might think will be good for the sake of this channel. Anyways, see you later, guys.